I'm Amaury and today I'm going to answer a question from Philippe, the co-founder of a startup in the shipping industry. His question is, should I consider offshoring to develop my startup? And before answering this question, let's add a bit of context. Philippe already has an artificial intelligence developer in his team, and he needs someone with a complementary skills to develop his startup's web SaaS solution. Now, he is wondering if offshoring as a non-technical founder would be a reliable way to develop his startup's product. In truth, it's impossible to really answer if offshoring is a good or bad thing, or if it's better or worse than another option. It all depends on the provider you encounter. That's why what I can say after working with dozens of people all over the world is that it's a lot easier with people that have the same culture as you. But don't just take my words for it. And let's dive into a few things that you need to understand before offshoring. For example, did you know that India has more people than United States, Canada, Europe and Australia all together combined? The same goes for China and the continent of the Africa. That means that there are lots of companies competing over there, trying to market the United States, the Europe, etc., etc. And usually, the one spending the most reaching you out turn out to not being the best in terms of development. What I mean to say with all this is that you are more likely to find a good company in Asia, especially through a friend or an acquaintance that already tested these companies' services, as opposed to being contacted by someone you don't know and who claims they can provide you any sort of development regardless of your project. Just because you both speak the same language doesn't mean that you will interpret things the same way. If you are an American and you picture an Airbnb startups with a beautiful interface, the offshore Indian company you choose to work with might be confusing and not focusing on the entire product you really expect, but focusing on the functional side of things and end up delivering as much simpler app than you were expecting. And my tips would be to have someone with both cultures to bridge the gap between your French or European or American culture and the Asian culture. Like someone with an American mother and an Indian father. And this type of person are key because they understand the culture from both sides. And these cultural liaisons are able to translate the American requests, the concerns and worries to an Indian developers without any misunderstanding. So, while we are on that note, imagine that you are working with a company with the same cultural background as you, and state that your goal is an Airbnb platform for renting bikes as example. If your provider is really smart, they will analyze the Airbnb business model, their procedures, figure out what's the gap between managing apartments and bikes, until they come up to something like using connected lockers to unlock your bike remotely. It's all possible. If you understand each other from the get-go, you have the same culture, you grew up in the same environment, you also click instantly and have the same through process. If it's not the case, which rarely is, the simple but time-consuming solution is to writing narrow, detailed specifications to counterbalance the lack of the natural chemistry and avoid any misunderstanding. Having the culture gap means there is higher risks of misunderstanding each other. So you do need to check up on the development process at least once a week. And ask for a test environment from day one and keep track of what's being developed. And this way, you will be able to provide an ongoing feedback and corrections. Okay, good and a competent communication will be the only way for you and your idea to be understood. And finding someone with a good level of English is a must. And prefer to have an audio and video calls to see how people react. Because if they don't understand something, you will have a better chance of recognizing it through videos than through a written chat. And you might know by now that software development is writing software in a specific computer language, right? You are paying for it. So request access to the source code from the beginning. I describe in another video how you can do it through tools like Bitbucket. This will help a lot if you run into conflict with your developer's company. And if you need to audit the source code of the application, even during the development, that will be a very best help for you. So, just like with the source code, keep control of the production environment as well. Like the server's access, the Apple Store or the App Store credentials you need to deploy your application. And to offshore the safe way, keep the production management on your side, or at least with a local provider in order to help you control of your application and the customer's data. And it would be probably harder to comply to the GDPR regulations and comply with it if you delegate your production to a company overseas. When developing a software, you can use thousands of techniques or languages. But using a well-known proven technologies like Symfony, Django, Ruby on Rails will ensure that your provider's work will be easily understandable by other companies. And before wrapping up, ask a friend with the appropriate technical background to evaluate your provider's work and ensure they did it the right way. During the first few weeks will be your safest bet, since it will let you know if your provider's development is good or not. And as a final advice, get a company with practice and experience in what your app needs. If you want to be good at something, you need to do it over and over again, right? So if a company claims that they can handle WordPress development as well as IoT, artificial intelligence, blockchain development, etc., well, there is a good chance that they will learn on the job. After investing lots of energy and money, you will probably won't get the app you expect. Just a bunched version, but done by beginners that is not scalable or not understandable by other developers. So always go for an agency with a real focus on a certain technology or another, and that is able to say no if a request falls out of their area of expertise. And now to conclude and answer Philip's question, using offshoring is definitely riskier just because of the culture gap between you and your provider. But like any other business relationship, you might find benefits on the long run, and creating an effective enough process will enable you to create a startup project with outsourcing. And it's obviously a great opportunity to build your very first version with low costs and test out your market. And now if like Philip, you have a specific question for your project, just go ahead and ask on myctofriend.co/ask. I will do my best to answer your question by video or to react you to an existing content that will answer it. And I publish new video every week, so subscribe now and learn how to be better at tech management skills and build your startup successfully. And also be sure to go through our content on myctofriend.co/videos to learn more from real startup growth experiences. Waiting for your question? I look forward to seeing you in other videos. Cheers!